hot out here. But I will say I'm a bit late on uploading. I do apologize. I was out over the weekend to see family, and then the videos I was making, they're a bit more long-term. The process is a bit long, so I forgot to make a short-term video. Who cares? This is a unedited or mostly unedited video. We'll just see what happens. So this is a full tour of my outdoor plants. Let's get straight to it. So this is my first ball garden in quite some time. As you guys remember, in my past, I did have multiple ball gardens, but because they got sprayed, it's been almost 2 years since then. Yeah, I just gutted those ball gardens. I didn't have one since, but I missed having one. I decided to put in my worst divisions in here because they were not doing good. I didn't think they were gonna make it, but almost everything made it. They look kind of crappy right now, but these are all fresh divisions from this year, and because of that, they're not gonna look the best. I also put in a bunch of these bog companion plants. I always forget what these are called, but I've always liked these little yellow flowers. I'd like to put some more bog companions in here, like some bog orchids, but you know, maybe next year. So in this bog garden, there's not a whole lot in here, nothing too special. I have a B52 flytrap. Some red dragons are growing in here. I'm shocked these made it. I didn't think they were. There's a Hummer's hammerhead. One thing about my Sarracenia is some of them, you're gonna see like these little crinkled looking traps. That's because we just had like a big old heat wave. Like the weather was actually quite nice, you know, it was cooling down a little bit, then boom, the heat came in. So you're gonna see a bunch of traps that kind of look like this. You know, it's where they opened up early and they hardened off quickly. So the Hummer's hammerhead is a victim of it. You're gonna see quite a few of those. Rubra. For years, I always called this rubra weary-eyed. This is not rubra weary-eyed. It's just a typical rubra, I think. And right by it is a typical minor. This one, it did okay. Right here's the Leucophila Schnellscoos by Flavicupria. Again, it's just okay. Like, all these plants are just okay. There's a lot of maroon throat. Behind it is a Kilimanjaro by Lunchbox. I'm shocked this plant survived. Durian's Colossus by Redmond. This is a Leucophila Red by Rubra golfensis. It was doing pretty good at first until it started giving these, but this new picture coming up, there's hope. And then behind it is that Devil's Armpit Leuco Red by Minor Oki Finokiensis. That's at least what the tag said, but this is an early season plant, and it should not be doing that. So, like I said, these were all a bunch of divisions from this year, and they just were not doing good at all at first. So I just threw them in here, see what happened, and almost everything survived. There was a purpurea right here, but you can see it's not there anymore. That one rotted. And of course we have a bunch of sundews just chilling in here. Then just a bunch of filiformis, some intermedias. And these right here, just like a bunch of sales plants. These are all other divisions. You know, most of these are just early season plants, so they don't look too great. That's pretty normal. Oh, get up. I'm getting old. That crisp elderly age of 38. Yeah, we'll just say that. All right, we got these fly traps. These are the death hue plants from last year. They are quite small this year. I'm assuming it's because they clumped up, and whenever they do that, they tend to care more about clumping than size. It's just some other fly traps. I don't know why I bother keeping those. I might just throw these in the bog garden. Here's the other death cube plant from last year. That one with the really wonky looking traps. I repotted into a larger pot, and yeah, it's doing okay. And I made a bunch of like smaller ones, so there's some itty bitty ones just growing in there. See what happens. So I got quite a few new flytrap carnivores this year. After Red Leaf Exotics, I was really want to get back into collecting flytraps. So I got this red fox, which is kind of ironic because it's not red at all. We got double face. These are supposed to have like these bleach patches in there, but there's not a whole lot of it right now. But to be fair, the plant is quite small, so we'll just see what happens. Kim Jong-il, my boy. I have a dedicated video for this plant coming probably next week. Red piranhas did very well this year. They look great. It's the largest I've seen them. Some red dragons. You can actually see, you can actually tell these plants are a lot smaller. There's not nearly as many plants as there used to be. And that's because I divided the shit out of them. Because they were so many plants, they were so clumped up. It was to the point they just didn't have a lot of space to grow. So, you know, now that I divided them and I separated them, they look so much better. So much better. Some trichophiles, or funnel traps, however you want to call it. B52, you can see I've really busted this plant apart. And then we got some Triton. This smaller one here, I'm not sure if that's Triton or not. So I'm just gonna let it grow in there and see what happens. If it's not Triton, it's not Triton. Some of these plants, because they're so clumped together, they're not used to having full blasting light. Oh, let me focus, my bad. They're not used to having full sun. And I'll show you some of the divisions I got from them. They actually started burning because of that. So there's some Tritons that are kind of burnt because they are not used to being fully separated in the full sun. But they'll be fine. Here's another new one. This is red fused petiole. It's basically just a red dragon, but yeah, let me focus, my bad. The petioles are a bit more fused to the actual traps. It's simple. It was a cheap plant. I kind of like it. A multifida. This plant's probably going to be inside in a couple months, I'd say. We have dentes. Some mirrored. You can tell I also divided these up. And this was actually quite recent. So these are all brand new traps. You can actually see I'm already getting some mirrored traps from some of these guys. I think this one here, yep, there's one right there. They're coming up more often. That could be the reason why, because they're so clumped up together. King Henrys, they're giving me normal traps. Again, it's because they're so clumped together. Now that they're separated, they look so much better. We got Harley Quinn. This is also another new one. These guys are supposed to have pretty thick teeth and some pretty crazy colors, but as of right now, I'm not getting any colors. But I've only had this plant for about a month. So, yeah, we got Edentade, one of my new favorites. Just no teeth, it's just straight gums. That is so cool. And the traps work, and they work. And they can catch food. This one's just starting to open back up after eating something. That's awesome. This is a Leucophila Hurricane Creek by Typical Leucophila. It was looking great. I even used this as a display plant when I went to Red Leaf Exotics a little while back. And literally the day after, everything dried out. I got home at midnight and I set my plants back down because I had to go to bed early to go to work. And I just didn't think about putting water in the trays, and it was a day like this, it was blazing hot. So it dried out. So the main plant's not doing too good. The secondary, like the smaller growing plant, did okay. It recovered fine. It's about to pop open a new picture right there. Oh, it did pop open. Huh. Micheliana. I like this one because it has like the white edges. It almost looks like it's frosted, which I kind of like. This is a Flaviroof corpora by Minor. It's a Harpyri. I love Harpyri. It's such an awesome, underrated hybrid. But this one's like deep, deep red. It's doing awesome. It just popped up in this picture for me. And it colors up so quickly. Such an awesome plant. God, it's hot out here. We got some purpureas. You can see my collection has deeply reduced. In fact, the purpurea, the garbage Sarracenia from last year, I sold it. I don't have it anymore. I have a new garbage Sarracenia. I didn't film it. I didn't have a reason to film it, but it's starting to recover. This one's going to be in the bog garden next year. This is some random Sarracenia. I have no idea what it is. It was cheap, and it hasn't done much this year. Not sure why. It's always been kind of grumpy at me. All right, I'm just gonna go around. So here is another Mitriana. It's an anthocyanin-free one. It just popped open this fresh picture right here. Dude, anthocyanin-free Sarracenia are awesome. Anthocyanin is the red pigment that these plants have, and some just completely lack that red pigment, and because of that, they are completely green. Even at the base of where the growing point is, they're completely green. Oh man, dude, it looks so good. Like a fresh picture like that. Oh. Well, I was so devastated about this plant right here that I bought another one. Ooh, that's new. Caught a wasp. Yeah, I didn't see that earlier today. So that is new. That is very unfortunate. That's a fresh picture too. And one thing about some of these plants, and this picture was actually quite fresh when I first bought it last week, and it's already rotting at the bottom. It sucks that's happening, but at the same time, at least you know your plant's doing its job. So yeah, that's kind of compromise. But yeah, fresh picture. Like the lip isn't even fully open. Like the lips haven't fully curved. It's already caught something. All right, we'll honor you, buddy. I salute you. Here's a new Flava regalii. I've never liked my regalii. I don't know. The pictures have never really looked right, and they never really had much of a patch until this year. I never noticed this one had a decent patch on it. I mean, it's kind of splotchy right now, but you can see in the middle, there's a patch. So I kind of bought this plant for nothing, but at the same time, I like the large lids on it. And I like how, like, yellow it is. I like that. It's exactly how regalii should be. And right beside it, I got me a Cuprea, which is awesome. Because as you guys remember, I did order a Cuprea from California Carnivorous in 2019, I think. And it gave me a Cuprea by Rubra corpora. So I have a pure Cuprea right here. And that is awesome. I'm really happy with that. Now this right here, I think is Rubra wirii. This plant grows so well for me. I just put it in this big pot this year, and it's already filled in. But you can also see what I was talking about earlier, how pictures kind of look crinkly because of the heat wave. Yeah, it's doing it. It really hit the alatas this year. Of course, I showed you this regalii. Ladybug, my oldest carnivorous plant. Didn't do as well as last year, but it's fine. Big old pot of Drosera intermedia. Just full of these plants. This was originally full of dente fly traps, but for some reason, none of them made it over the winter. And I'm like, well, shoot. And I just saw started seeing a bunch of sundew seedlings popping up. I'm like, let's just keep it, I guess. I don't know what to do with all these sundews. I'll figure something out. All right, I'm gonna go around. And now let's get to the Sarracenas. So this is my original Sarracenia, Stone County, Mississippi. And, well, as you can see, it's a lot smaller than it used to be. I tried to divide this plant. Divisions didn't make it, and this plant did not like being divided. So, moral of the story, do not divide a Sarracenia. They do not like it. I thought I was gonna lose this plant. I was actually so scared of losing it that I bought this Bay St. Louis one. And, well, this plant ended up making it. And it just popped up as first, like, good looking picture. So, yeah, that was an oopsie right there. But it's alive. That's all that really matters. What makes me mad the most is the divisions didn't even make it. But at least I have this one. So I have two of them now. I ain't mad about it. I had to change this water out pretty often. I just changed it right now because it was looking a bit mucky and it's full of algae. I had to change out that water, I'd say every 2-3 days. All right, we have Dana's Delight. Here's a newer plant right here. This is a Purpurea heterophila open pollinated, which means that the pollen got contaminated with something else. So it's completely unknown what the parent of this plant is. We know that it's got Purpurea heterophila in it, but what else? I like the large sloping lid, so there's potential in it. This is Richie Bell by Leucophila AJ01. It's a cool plant. I like the red on it. Trying to make sure everything's focused so you guys can actually see everything. This right here is an unknown plant. Bought at a local nursery. And I like it. Its newer pictures aren't looking too great. Something's going on with the plant. We have Hummer's Hammerhead. A Judith Hindle. This is the Judith Hindle I'm going to be keeping. Look how red it is. Looks awesome. We have a Flava rubricorpora. It's an early season plant, so they kind of look like junk. Oh god, this one's tragic. So this is my Leucophila red by Wilkerson's White Knight. And well, it's supposed to be at its peak right now. But as you can see, it looks like junk. And I was trying to figure out why. It's not even growing new pictures. Caterpillars have eaten the growing points. You can't really see them too well. Here, you can probably see this one the best. Completely munched them. There's only one growing point that remains. Actually, no, never mind. I was wrong. No, that was... None of the growing points are good anymore. Oh, no. And I had a spare one, but I sold it. If I could... No, Dom bought it. So, he's got that one now. Yeah, it is what it is. So, here's some of the plants from Rusty Exotics. This is the Leucophila albino by Flava Brunswick albino. This is an anthocyanin-free Sarracenia. Some of the plants from Rusty, dude, some of them got completely chewed out by caterpillars. I've had a really big problem with caterpillars this year. But this one was one of the victims, but it's growing back. We have Leucophila purpuleus, a flower ornata by Dragon Queen. Just popped up in its first couple pictures for me. There's that one there. And again, the heat wave kind of did that to it. This one right here is the Leucophila RFNL Pink Lips by Kew Gardens. Here's its first picture from me. I like it quite a bit. We got Hawaiian Ice by Blood Moon by Kilimanjaro. Did not like that heat wave at all. At least it gave me this one. It's alright. Alright, what else do we have here? Rubra. This is one of my Leah Wilkersons. It's a division. It's a smaller one. It's the one I'm going to be keeping. We got Reptilian Rose. I had way larger pictures, but those were the earlier season pictures, and they were looking pretty rough. I wish I would have kept them, even though I clipped them off, and the mower is kind of... So I can't really show you guys how they looked, but it's a stunning plant whenever they get large. Stunning. We have a Filiformis tracei. Huge sundew. Awesome, I love them. Absolutely love them. We got Cordyeye. This is Micheliana by Royal Ruby. Caterpillars, you can actually see all the different pictures that the caterpillars completely chewed. And because I've pretty much solved the caterpillar problem, I'm starting to get my first picture in probably about 3 months. And it's a slow growing plant too. And right behind it, Adrian Slack. This has been my dream plant since I was in like 7th grade. I finally bit the bullet and got one. It's given me a few pictures. They're not great, but this is an earlier season plant, so it's not going to be great. This is Oreophila by Purpurea by Leucophila Hurricane Creek. It's an okay plant. It has its good years, it has its bad year. This year was just kind of in the middle. This right here is, I'm guessing I'm thinking it's some kind of areolata. That heat wave. Dang it. When this plant gives me good pictures, they are good. Here's the Flava Ultra Purpurea Appalachicola by Whack-A-Mole. I try to remember these names on top of my head. The original pictures are starting to fade on it, sadly. And caterpillars just wiped this plant out. But luckily, I'm getting new pictures coming up, even though it's a Flava. I'm not complaining though. No complaints. I like new pictures. And then here's the Blood Moon by Kilimanjaro by Leviathan. And it's giving me a couple pictures. This plant grows so fast. I've had this plant for about a month and a half, and it's already given me 2 new pictures. And that was after I repotted it, so not too shabby. Not too shabby. We got Leucophila by Flava Ornata Clone D. Again, it's an early season plant, so right now it's just giving me some of these thin, wispy pictures. Dorian's Colossus by Purpurea Rosea by Flava Red Tube. Again, an early season plant. We have Leucophila Red by Ruba Golfensis. Not liking this heat wave at all. Oof. But of course we have this one, which is Ruba Golfensis Dark Red by Flava Ruba Corpora. This was my least favorite Sarracenia, but it's growing on me. We have Devil's Armpit by Leuco Red by Minor Okefenokeensis. That's what the tag said, but nope. Oreophila by Leucophila Purple Lips. Very early season. Extreme Green. It just started giving me some new pictures. The early season pictures were amazing. This is such a good hybrid to have. But this is a fresh picture. Look at the veins on it. It's a good size. The colors are awesome. I mean, I had a picture about this tall on it. It's a really good hybrid to get. It grows so fast. A lot of maroon throat. This is what I mean. This heat wave was not nice to a lot of maroon throats. And caterpillars destroyed it as well. I pretty much had to cut back everything except for this one picture. That's a shame. We have Lunchbox by Bengal Tiger. It's a cool plant. It came with multiple ones, and there's this one down here with quite red pictures, which I do like. Yeah, like what I said with the heat wave. Oh, I forgot to show you guys. Bug Bat. Definitely its best year for me. They got quite large. I like Bug Bat. It's an underrated hybrid. Here's Harpiri. This is a typical one. Outstanding. This is such a good hybrid. It grows so fast. It's a very reliable plant. And behind it here is Flava Ornata. I like this plant. Lunchbox. Oh man, this plant's cooking. Just gave me its large... My phone overheated. All right, back to it. This is my Lunchbox. Amazing plant. I love it so much. It's actually reaching its peak season. I have a new picture coming up here. And there's a third one coming down here. And there's actually a second growing point. Picture right there. And oh my God, it caught another... Oh my Lord. Well, that's unfortunate. Bees. Yeah, garbage fly traps. And gave it its own tag. They're spreading out like crazy though. So I thought about spreading them out, you know, like, or like repotting them, dividing them, see how many plants I have. But I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I kind of just want to see how these, like how much these guys can spread out. We have Swaniana, which is Minor by Purpurea. Pretty awesome plant. Caterpillars kind of munched at them. Got some good old scarlet bells. I divided this plant pretty heavily this year. So, yeah. This is going to be my main Durian's Colossus by Redmond. It's a lot smaller than last year. Picture size is about the same, but the actual plant, a lot smaller than last year. Good old Catesby eye. People loved this plant when I was at Red Leaf Exotics. I can see why. Absolutely love this plant. And my Durian's Colossus by, oh, not Durian's Colossus, my Oreophila by Fat Chance. People really like this one. I gave 3 smaller ones to Rusty Exotics, and I gave a medium-sized plant to Dom. And yeah, this is my last one left. So please pump out some growing points, buddy. Here's a newer Leucophila I got. This is the, trying to remember. It is Flusia by Liberty County, Florida. It's a nice plant. I've been up in my Leuco game this year. Did I even show? I'm trying to remember. I don't even think I showed my Leucophila pensacola. It's a very nice plant. Here's the, these are my nicest typicals. Yes, these are typical flytraps. They're freaking huge. I put them in a larger pot. I wanted to give them good treatment. Just give them more space to grow, because these were just growing in little 4-inch pots. And they're already spreading like wildfires. And they've already overtaken this pot. That's so funny, because you see this one right here. These 3, they were all actually jammed in this one spot here, but it looks like they've actually migrated. That's crazy. I didn't think they could do that. Some typical Philiformis. These are definitely showing their time for the year. They typically go dormant around this time of the year. That's a shame. All right, let me go around here. We got Minor. Very good year with this plant. It's got a really, really good size. And then the Okeefinokiensis is right here. Okeefinokiensis was a lot larger last year, but because I divided it up, yeah, it definitely lost a bit of its size. There's Abandoned Hope. It's a shame that these pictures started fading. This plant was looking great. Here's a newer picture. This is a really good looking plant. Did very well this year. Now this plant right here looks stunning. This is Leucophila Red by Flava Ornata. No, sorry. Leucophila Purple Lips by Flava Ornata by Adrian Slack. It just popped up in this picture right here for me. Oh man, it looks stunning. I love this plant. We got this Kilimanjaro by Lunchbox. Definitely a lot smaller than last year. I definitely divided this plant up. It's doing quite well. It had a pretty rough start. All of these plants, all my Kilimanjaro by Lunchboxes, they had a pretty rough start. They did not like being divided, but now it's back to normal. This plant right here has definitely grown on me. Pretty in Pink. I love the fresh pictures. And these pictures have gotten way larger this year after being divided. So that's good. Typical Flava. Here's that Cuprea by Ruber Corpora I was talking about. Gave me one really nice size picture right here. And these are the later season ones. Now I'm gonna go around. We have Leucophila Chanel's Ghost by Flava Cuprea. It was divided and had a rough start, small pictures, but now they're pretty much back to normal. There's a little wasp hanging out there. That might be plant food later. These are a bunch of sales plants I'm going to be taking to Red Leaf Exotics next time. So, bunch of, oh shoot, my bad. Cultivars of fly traps. Of course, some Sarracenia. These are all just like other divisions of like fly traps and Sarracenia that I'm not going to sell yet. They don't look good enough. Here's the Flava Rubicorpora Botanique. I thought it was Botanic, but it's Botanique. These pictures last forever. They really do. There's no fading or anything. They look awesome. And then of course, the Durian's Colossus by Alucard. They got so red this year, but as you can see, this picture's starting to fade. That's such a shame, but it is what it is. That's just what they do. But yeah, they got so red. And I learned that this plant I'm sure every growing point is just gonna give me one picture. That's what Alucard does, and that's what this plant seems to be doing. So there's 3 growing points total, so I'm probably just gonna get 3 pictures. Yeah, just 3 pictures next year, but that's fine. God, it's a lovely plant. Well, not that the pictures are fading now, but you know, it was fun when it lasted. But yeah, that's everything for the outdoors. Oh, there's a plant inside. Hold on. Okay, so I got a biohazard number 2. It's currently acclimating. This is for a future video. Man, this is such a wild looking plant. I love it a lot. Also, here's a cephalotus update. That new leaf coming up, oh my goodness. My first cephalotus picture, it's starting to swell. Ah, I'm so excited. All right, that's it. Bye.